Good morning, good evening, everyone. I'll start with documents and contracts, move on to invoicing, and Shivam Vatsa will then take over for e-commerce and Prashant for payments.
Beautiful.
So on documents and contracts, we released recurring payments for agreements. Earlier, whenever a product list was added, you could not add recurring products into it. Now you can do so. And whenever you are adding a product which is recurring in nature, you essentially get the similar frequency settings that you get at an invoice level, where you can essentially configure that how should the invoice that gets generated after this document would go in. Uh, and this will be primarily helpful for people who are signing recurring contracts, which are monthly in nature and want to mix up one-time setup fees along with it. So one small addition that we are doing into this feature is that uh, currently even the one-time products are treated like recurring products when they are added. So that we are going to change, and they will be now treated as one-time products. I think that build should be out tomorrow or day after. Feel free to drop any questions in the chat. I'll take them up in the end later. In terms of UX improvement, we were getting a lot of queries around, a new user coming in into documents and contracts, they creating a template, and they would leave a signature field, but they would not know that whom it would get assigned to. So now we've simply added an option which by default says that it will be assigned to a contact, so that whenever you save this template, the signature is by default assigned to contact, and whenever this template is used in a workflow, whatever the contact is entering that workflow, they get assigned to this signature field. So the functionality remains the same, but at least the experience point of view for a first time user, for a second time user, it gets fairly easy. Uh, in terms of bug fixes, there were a few that we were facing from the last couple of months. So we fixed those, where the status of the document at a contact section was not being correctly represented. Let's say the document was completed, it was still showing viewed over here. So that status is something that we fixed. And now in the contact section, you can see the correct uh, statuses of these documents. Along with that, what was happening that if, let's say, you have multiple signature boxes in the same document, the signature elements used to shrink, but not anymore. Now the signature elements will remain according to the size of the signature box. Along with that, there was another issue that whenever a PDF was being generated from uh, a document, the PDF was being generated on an 8.5 into 12-inch page, which is not the standard US letter size, which is 8.5 into 11. So both the editor and viewer were on the same levels, but the PDF was at 8.5 into 12. So that is something that we fixed. It was causing some issues whenever the documents had to get printed or even downloaded, the page looked a bit altered. So those things we fixed. What is coming up next is two-in-one documents. Here we are in the testing phase, final phases of testing. So most likely we should be able to release it by Monday next week. Here, what the goal is that, let's say, once you enable collect payment immediately after signing from the settings, whenever a document is signed by your end user, you will be able to show them the invoice right in the next screen, and then they can pay it out and move ahead in their lives. So you no longer have to rely on a secondary email getting sent out, which says that your invoice has been sent, and then you constantly nudging the user to accept payments from them. So that is something that is coming up really soon. Along with that, a major one that we've been getting is that currently forms support opportunity custom values, where let's say you collect some information in a form and you save it under an opportunity custom value, but you are not able to use this opportunity custom values in a document. And primarily useful for people, let's say if the client is an event manager and they have multiple events planned for the same contact, they are currently not able to use those different event custom values into the documents, whereas it may be needed. So we have made significant progress over here. and opportunity custom value should also be out probably in the next week or next to next for sure. Along with that, template library integration is coming in so that whenever a new user is being onboarded onto documents and contracts, there are a few pre-made templates that they can use and makes their life easier to sort of get rolling with their first document. Along with that, a lot of our, I would say, I've been talking to a few of you, and I've heard that whenever a PDF gets generated, the page breaks the whole document, and the signature boxes move, and that is causing usability issues, and you are not able to use documents and contracts for that reason. So that is a top priority for us right now, and we are in the, I would say, research phase for that, that what will be the best way possible to sort of bring it out in the shortest time possible. So once we have some progress there, I'll keep you updated. Along with that, in terms of upcoming features, linking email templates to document templates is something that we are coming up with, which is primarily related to the fact that, let's say, if you are onboarding a client and you want to send them a document, versus if you are, let's say, just engaging with a client for a retainer, the emails that you want to send with these two are completely different uh, for the documents that goes out. And currently you have no way to configure a template to an email. So that is something which we are going to provide. And hopefully this will help a lot of your use cases where you are not able to send multiple documents to the end users. Along with that, on the second level, we have activity log for documents and contracts, where essentially at a document level, you will be able to see that who has viewed the contract, who has not viewed the contract, and all those things that you currently have in statuses, you will get it on the UI as well. Then we have custom value linkage to fillable fields. Let's say you are using docs to send the document out to a user and collect some information from them. Currently, you have the text fields, but that text field is not saved anywhere in the system. So we'll give you an option to save this to a contact. Along with that, we are planning to pick up split column support, where essentially you can place two elements side by side. Currently, you are only have vertical placement. Then we have a deposit one-time payment option coming up, where you will be able to collect, let's say, 10%, 20% of the total product list amount. Uh, and then we have multiple PDF upload support, which is planned, where essentially if you have, let's say, 10 documents and you want to send them all at once, you currently have to send them 10 individual documents. Uh, you're not able to merge them into a single one and sort of send the whole file over. So that is something that we'll enable you to do. And enhanced document sending module is nothing but giving you a glimpse of what email is the document going out with, and if you can having a preview there and then editing it on the go, something that Invoices already has. I'll take a moment here and probably look for what questions do we have in the chat. Hmm. Is there a time frame as to when recurring payment will come to forms? Uh, I am not
I think
sure.
it's in testing right now. So probably a couple of weeks more. It's coming real soon.
Got it. Feedback on sign element. Can you more explicitly indicate internal signer 1, signer 2, signer 3, etc.? The primary you use is confusing. Internal signer, signer 1. So currently, Brandon, you can have only two contacts in a template. And when it comes to let's say, the normal document, you can assign signature boxes and the name of the contact to whom you are assigning gets shown over there. So I'm not sure what do you mean by, adding signer 1, signer 2 over there. You can set up some time with me.
Yeah.
I am,
So what I'm talking about is, so when you put a signature in,
yeah,
it says like, so both fields say signer and one says primary.
yeah,
So initially as you roll this new thing out, and I was test driving it, I thought primary meant internal person. But that's not the case. So instead of having, say, primary, like kind of distinguishing whether or not it's an internal signer for the company or it's like who you're sending it out to get signed.
Got it. All right. Feedback taken.
Yeah, and I think the reason we use primary over there is because if you use some custom values or custom fields inside the document template, then they get rendered according to the primary contact that you have on the document. But I think that makes sense what you're trying to say. Probably we can improve the communication over there so that it makes it more clear. I think Harshit can take that up and we'll be able to get something more clearer on this.
Yeah.
And one of the things I did notice was like when you're filling out the signature piece, if you don't add the signatures in such a way, it can mix up like who's the person, and then you have to select to put for the order of the signers, like enable that, move the order around, and then unenable it if you don't want to force a sequence of signers. So like that's just like feedback from what I've experienced because I was trying to use it yesterday, the day before, and that's what I noticed. Like if I don't put them in a certain order when I'm adding them, I have to go back and add that and then change the order and then unenable the sequence of signatures so that everybody can sign it at once. We're not waiting on one person type of thing. Does that make sense?
Brandon, so by default, the signatures, once let's say assigned to different users, the order does not matter, right? The only thing that matters is that any document should have at least one primary signer, and that is the baseline. Now, let's say if you assign signing order and change the order to 1, 2, 3, 4, or howsoever you want it, and let's say you turn it off again, it won't matter to the end user, because let's say if you have 5 signers, it will go to 5 signers at the same time if signing order is not enabled.
Right. So when you're adding a signer, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about like just the document. Say I have a line that says like recipient and then internal. So
Oh,
like
got
somebody
it.
internal is supposed to sign it. If I
Yeah.
don't add those in such an order, like that's correct from the start,
Yeah.
that I have to manipulate the order that the people are signing it in order to switch those signature fields around to the right people. So like you can shuffle the order, and when you shuffle the order, it actually shuffles like where the signature part is. Because I noticed that in one of the documents I did when I tested it, it was like the internal person signature block was on the person that received the document. So when I went back and switched the order of the people on the sidebar, it switched those signature fields. So then the right person was under the recipient for the signature block.
Got it. All right, Brandon, I think I'll just reuse this from my end as well. And we'll look forward to sort of connect with you separately so that we can go over
Mhm.
your experience and handle this more carefully.
Okay.
Yep. Then we have custom object, custom fields already prepared to be supported as soon as custom objects is released. So at least in the first step, let's say you save opportunity dot event name, right, as a custom value, you can simply assign that custom value into the document, and that will be fetched if it is saved against a contact. So currently that is what we are targeting for. Custom objects is something that is there in the pipeline, but probably not in this roadmap, not in this quarter. All right. You should always be the primary signature. You never want to sign a document first. Uh, Ikshan, by that, do you mean that the sender of the document should always be the primary signature?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, but what if you've got like an assistant that's like putting together the document? Is it gonna, wouldn't that confuse that issue?
Well, your assistant will never sign a document, right?
Right, but if they're the user that's logged in, I mean, maybe I'm not understanding the question.
No, 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 no. It's not a question. It's just a comment I'm making. Um, as someone that signed hundreds, thousands of contracts, you literally never want to sign the contract first. You want your client to sign the contract, and then you finalize the signing of the contract, because once you sign the contract is finalized. So
Okay, got it.
it's just a comment.
Okay, cool.
Got it. If for any other questions, please set up some time with me. I am sharing my meeting link over here.
Cool. Thank you.
For invoicing and payment links, we released tips where you can essentially go to settings. You can configure the tipping amounts. And then whenever your customer is making a payment, you have an option on the payment module where you have an option to add tips. You can add percentages that you had configured in settings, or they can simply click on other and add a dollar amount to it. So that went live. Then we went live with automatic taxes, both on invoices as well as payment links. Another thing that we launched was that currently, whenever you were adding a payment plan into an invoice, let's say a 3-month plan, 3-month split payment on the same invoice, right? You were not able to enable auto payments over there. So now you will be able to enable auto payments as well, which will again make the life easier for the business owner, where they don't have to go after the client to sort of make the payment. Along with that, what we released very recently, which was today, is that we have added new filters: viewed, partially paid, and void in the workflows. You have this at the filter level and on a trigger, and you also have it in the if else conditions. So now if you want to trigger, let's say, a different email whenever an invoice is in a partially paid status, or whenever the invoice is void, or you want to continue with other workflows basis this, you can now do that. What is coming up really soon is estimates. So now I think this will be primarily big for home services clients, where let's say you want to send an estimate to a user, you will be able to simply go send an estimate and they can accept or reject it. Once accepted, the sender will have an option to convert this into an invoice and then send it out. So this is something that we are almost done with development with. So probably mid of next week or end of next week, there will be a first version which will be out. And then we'll be looking for active feedback from all of you so that, whatever the missing pieces are, we'll just sort of tie that out. Along with that, what is currently work in progress is that currently on payment links, the end user is not able to change the quantity of the product that they are buying. But now you will be able to configure quantity where you can set a minimum and a maximum value. And when that payment link goes out, the end user will have an option to change this quantity by simply typing in a value or just clicking these plus and minus symbols, and the amount will be edited basis this. So this is also something which is development done under testing, again for next week. Custom payment methods per invoice is something that we've been working on, where essentially if you, let's say, want to limit uh, your payment methods for an invoice, you can do that. And this would obviously depend on which state do you reside in, and basis that you can only use this feature, because some states do not allow for limiting the payment methods. But if your client wants to do it, you will essentially have this option to enable or disable this at an invoice level. Along with that, what we are coming out with is late fees on invoices, where essentially you can configure a late fee in settings. You can configure a late fee at an invoice level, and you can either assign it as a flat fee or a percentage. And it can be configured, let's say, for every 2 months, every 3 months, or months, weeks, years. And you can also assign a grace period, and you can also set up a maximum late fees. So all this is something which you can configure and send your invoice out. So whenever the next invoice, whenever the late fees is supposed to be applied, a new row item called late fees will be applied, and then your client will have to pay the total amount, including the late fees. What is also work in progress, zero integration. So this is something that is currently with the zero team. So waiting for approval from there. And whenever we get it, we'll sort of enable zero integrations as well. Along with that, what is coming out on invoices is that we are creating a new UI which will be optional, where essentially you will have all the builder side on the left side and a preview on the right side. Something similar to estimates that I showed in a couple of slides back. So that is something which we are going ahead with, makes it more mobile friendly and makes it easier to use. Along with that, we are coming out with workflow triggers for estimates once estimates are out. Invoice processing fees passing to the customers is something that is in the plans. PayPal support on invoices is also something that we are looking for. Pre-made layouts where, let's say, some of you want a different template for your invoice. That is something that is in the plans. Checklist for invoices is in the plans that, let's say, you have 5 items and your end user wants to just pay for one of them at the moment. They can simply click on that amount and then pay for that particular item. Expiry of payment links, where essentially you have sent out a link, but you no longer, you want to set a duration. Let's say it's a 1 month campaign, right, for a special price. So all the payment links will sort of cease to work once that expiry date is reached. And then we have auto application of coupon codes on payment links, whereas whenever a payment link is being generated, a coupon code will be sort of auto applied into that. So that is it from invoices and payment links. I am now going through the questions. When they accept, does it then turn into an invoice for payment?
So you're talking about the 2-in-1 document, I'm assuming, Tony?
No, when they accept a estimate,
Ah,
does it then turn into an invoice for payment,
Correct.
like they do in QuickBooks?
It does not instantly get converted into an invoice. It goes into an accepted stage, and then whosoever the sender was, they can sort of move that accepted estimate into an invoice and send it out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Tony, would you need this to be sort of automated as well?
I think so. If you have people in the field that are maybe doing estimates there and then, and the
Okay.
client accepts it, that it then turns into an invoice that they can accept the payment on it.
Got it. Sure.
I could definitely see both scenarios where, they accept the invoice and then maybe some companies, they want to have somebody at the office review it before they send out the invoice. And then maybe other companies would just want it to auto send. So a toggle setting would probably be the best approach there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sure. We'll take this up as a, subsequent feature for sure. Adding cash on delivery, I think you can record a manual payment as of now on an invoice. Tony, would that not solve the issue?
So to have it as an option, so that when they're accepting the invoice, that they know it's going to be a cash on delivery, so they don't want to pay by credit card and incur the transaction fees, but when they deliver the product, that it's cash on delivery. So when they get to the client, they can then mark the invoice as payment received COD. But at least prior to the product being delivered, the client knows that it's a COD invoice.
Got it. Essentially, you are saying that when we are creating that custom payment methods, we also give an option for COD so that whenever that invoice gets sent out, it does not, whenever a pay button is clicked, it does not have any payment methods, but the customer can only pay via cash.
Correct. A perfect example is when a winery sells alcohol to a liquor store, they want cash on delivery. In fact, by law, it has to be paid on delivery. And obviously with the small margins, they don't want to incur the credit card fees in that either. So at least the bottle store knows that it's going to be a COD invoice and have the check ready or cash ready or whatever.
Got it.
Well, and zooming out a little bit, this is kind of the same idea where, you know, I think about high ticket coaching courses and so forth, where maybe it's 20 or $30,000. They don't want to give the option to the customer to pay with a credit card. They only want it done by wire. And so I think this is just another option in that sort of view of giving customers the ability to enable or disable different things, which I know we're working with Stripe on that, you know, in the bigger picture. So
Yep.
that,
Thank
in
you.
other words, that should be unified into kind of like one idea. So only accept these forms of payments, and COD happens to be one, and perhaps that'll solve for that.
That would be perfect.
Yep, and I think we have cash on delivery as of today in the payment integrations. We just need to extend that over payment links or invoices, for example. It works today on order forms and online stores only, but I think that makes sense. We'll probably the screen that Harshit showed right now that hey, you are able to turn on or off specific payment methods. We should just include cash on delivery or any other manual payment method that is configured over there.
Correct.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Next
Solve
we
that
have,
problem.
next we have Charles, where we have, oh, okay, Lior has a question. Will they also have the 2-in-1 page converting to an invoice? Lior, not in the first version, but obviously subsequently we'll add that feature. Probably within 1.5 months from now, we'll have that 2-in-1 converting to an invoice. Charles is asking that whether the payment options will also be added to payment settings. Currently, Charles, what we have developed this is for invoices. Prashant, are we adding it in payments as well? Setting the payment methods.
Yeah, I think that kind of makes sense. As of today, the idea that we are going ahead with that is that hey, if by default all payment methods are enabled, and according to specific channels, like let's say invoices or specific order forms or specific payment links, you can enable few of those options or disable few of those options. But I think that makes sense at a larger level also. If I just said that, hey, I want to accept only Canadian debit or only ACH transfer, for example, then I don't need to do that everywhere across the channel. I think that makes sense. We
Well,
will get.
and so my thought process on it is on the setting. I mean, there's plenty of room on the setting screen and payments. If we could put a menu in there for accepted payments or however you want to word it, and then break it out by category, you know, because I may want to only take ACH on invoices, but I don't want it to be global across, you know, or I may only want to offer financing on certain payment forms or factors, whether it's, you know, order forms, whether it's a payment in the form builder. You know, if we could break out each section
Makes
within
sense.
the settings. Just from a management standpoint, if I have employees that are generating invoices, I don't want them to have to remember to go find some buried setting. I want to be able to set it at a top level and know that it doesn't matter what they do, it's only going to send out with the payment options that I've set from an admin level.
That makes sense. And I think similarly, Stripe also does it that way, that hey, you have global payment methods that
Correct.
you can turn on or off. And then on specific
Yep.
invoice, specific links that you generate, you are able to turn on or off few of those. And I think in the longer run, we'll reach over there. As of today, if you might have observed, we enabled BNPL, we enabled ban contact, ideal, SEPA direct debit, and all of those payment methods. They required some backend changes on our side on order forms or on payment links to handle the redirect flow and all of those. And I think we are almost done with all of those payment methods. So I think now we can standardize this, we can give those options inside the payment integrations, and they can manage it at a master level. I think your feedback makes sense, Charles.
Cool. TJ, looks like you've got a question. Something happened to your documents and contracts. Did we change anything yesterday? I didn't see any releases for documents and contracts yesterday. Maybe I missed a T4.
We did the PDF size revamp, but that should not change the document editor side. TJ, could you share a couple of sort of template IDs with me? I'll get it checked.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
in that
absolutely.
thread, just drop a couple links and we can dig
And
into it.
do you have a ticket number or something which will just tell us the location ID or anything?
Not at the moment. I just got here inside my agency. I had a few people reach out to me this morning, and I went in and tested it out myself. And it's like some of our templates that we have, they've been zoomed in, and so now the formatting for those original templates are misplaced and misaligned.
Okay.
God.
Yeah, if you could submit a ticket on that one, and then that'll make it really a lot faster for us to run it down with all that info.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I
Drop
think
number.
just dropped in as an email as well. So I think you can shoot an email or open a ticket. But I think those details will just help us faster dig into this.
Yeah. ETA for choosing the payment methods. Okay, we already 1 month. Okay.
Question really quick on that piece, like he was talking about, like documents kind of moving around. So this happened to me yesterday when somebody signed a document or filled out a space, the text field was not large enough. So it returned, it came down a row. So it like wrapped in it. And then when it wrapped and created a new line, it pushed everything, all my other like text fields, signature fields, it pushed them all down in the document. So that now they, like when they get down to the signature line, it's all funky looking. It's like the signature's like covering up another name. And so.
Okay. Yeah, an example that would be awesome to look at.
When we did do a bug fix today morning, are you still facing this issue in the documents today?
I'll say that I am.
DJ, you are still facing this issue?
Yeah, I am. I thought my user, I thought it was user mistake or something, but I've just tested it out probably like 6 minutes ago, and I got hit with the same thing.
Got it. All right. Just please let me know, the template which faced the issue. We'll get it sorted on priority.
What's the best way to send it over to you guys? Should I just open a support ticket or drop it here or something?
Open a support ticket and then email that ticket number to Harshit's email address that he dropped in the comment there.
Okay, got you.
All right, cool. Okay, so other people having issues. We'll run all that down. Do we have anything left on the presentation or no? I think Prashant's got a present.
Yeah, Shivam can take it for e-commerce.
Oh, Shivam. Okay, cool.
So I'll take it from e-commerce. Is my screen visible?
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah. I'll just talk about all the updates that we had for e-commerce and what all things are in the pipeline, and post that we can take any queries that we have. Coming to the releases that have happened in the last month. Since last month, there's manual payment methods. We have launched manual payment methods. You can find it in the payments tab. In the payments, it's under integrations. There is manual payment method. So there are two things. The store owners can add cash on delivery, or they can enable a custom payment method. You just need to add a text which will be shown at the time of checkout page. And after the checkout, there will be another message that you can configure. And once that is added, you can also configure whether you want to show it for order forms or e-commerce stores. So there's a check in it, and there will be an option at the time of checkout to choose cash on delivery for the end customer. So this has gone out recently. Then we have store submenu. So this is a new release where you will get all your e-commerce websites in just one single submenu. So if you go in the sites, earlier all your e-commerce stores were falling under websites. Now we have separated it and moved everything under stores. So now you can find all your e-commerce stores under one single submenu itself. And you can create a new store using either the blank blank page or the templates. So you don't need to like create a website and then add a store to it. You can just create it from just one single click, the complete blank store. And from templates, we have a lot of templates. And if you have any other template requests, you can maybe reach me out and send me an email around it for whatever specific templates or some kind of suggestions that you have. Uh, Coming to next thing, we have print packing slips for e-commerce stores. So for any orders involving shipping, which is like for e-commerce, you will have a print packing slips option. So what will happen is, let's say if you have unfulfilled order, all the items of that specific order will be listed in one single page. And as soon as you do some partial fulfillments or complete fulfillments, all those items will be listed on separate pages. So let's say if you have fulfilled your one order in three goes, and three partial fulfillments, then all of them will be listed in separate pages. And yeah, so you can like print packing slips from one single place, either on the order details page altogether for a specific order, or through at the time of fulfillment as well. So you can just choose the quantities of each of the items that you want to fulfill, and you can click on the print shipping label button. This will print your like the packing slip for all those items for which you chosen the quantity for. And
That
the next thing is,
are we updating that copy there for the shipping label? Because
yeah,
shipping label for
this is already updated, Ryan.
okay, cool. Yeah. I know
Yeah,
Chase brought that up. So
yeah,
for
yeah.
anybody wondering the difference between them, we're unifying that to shipping label or sorry, packing list for now.
So right now we have released the packing slips. After this, like once we have the shipping integration ready, the shipping labels will also be released after that.
Cool.
Yeah. Then the second place from where you can print packing slips is in the fulfillments. I think we have to update this part as well. So from there you can just print packing slips for all the items which have been partially fulfilled in that order. Then the next release, which is like the next thing which is in the pipeline is the automatic fulfillment for physical products. So this is like you can connect your shipping carriers and choose the shipping carriers at the time of checkout. So by connecting your shipper account, what will happen is you can start getting the live rates for your like orders at the time of checkout. And once you have placed an order, you can also like sync all your orders directly to shipper, and you can also automatically fulfill all your orders directly. So once you place the once you purchase the shipping label and all those stuff for your specific order, all the updates and notifications will also be sent to your end customers directly through our platform itself. So automatic fulfillments and live shipping rates will be released very soon for physical products. Then we will have WooCommerce integration. So with WooCommerce integration, what will happen is you will be able to import and sync your WooCommerce store data directly onto Go High Level. And the data points will be contacts, order, and transaction values, which will be synced. And the next thing is you will also have an option to import past data and sync the future data. So this is something that you can give the permission for at the time of connecting your WooCommerce account. And then what happens is you can also use automations and triggers for your existing WooCommerce stores. So this is another functionality that we'll be having, and we'll be adding triggers, automation triggers as well. Then the next thing is, yeah, customer access center. So this is, as a customer, like your customers can view their past order and log in and look into their current orders at the same point of time. So the customers can look into what is the current status of their order, like when did they place the order and what is the status of fulfillment. All of it will be updated here, and the carrier name, the tracking link, and all those carrier details will be also added at the time of fulfillment as well. So once an order is fulfilled, all the details will be updated in this. And this page can be accessed via the email. So as soon as someone places an order, they will receive an email that, hey, you have successfully placed an order. On that, you will see a CT button through which you can access the order details page. And once your users log in via OTP, they will be able to view their past orders at the same point of time. Yeah. Then we have delivery of digital products. So in this, what happens is, until now we were not having any bifurcation. So now with this release, what happens is all the store owners can sell their digital products like audio files, ebooks, documents, any templates like design templates or graphic templates, videos and images, and even upload the zip files which they want to deliver right after the checkout. So we are asking the at the time of creation of product, we are asking you directly whether this is a physical product or a digital product. If you choose the digital product, you will have an option to upload the items that you want to deliver right after the checkout. So once you do the checkout, you will receive an email where your end user can access all the documents that you have uploaded here. So let's say if you have any digital product that you're selling, you will receive an email. And once you receive the email, all the things can be accessed by the customer access center only. And in this, you will have a download button across each of the digital product, and you can your end customers can download all those things from here itself. Talking about all the things that are like upcoming and in the pipeline, automatic shipping cost calculation and automatic shipping fulfillment. This is the same Shippo integration that we have. You will start getting the live rates, and your automatic fulfillments will happen. Then the next thing is upsell purchases in store checkout. So right after the checkout, you can enable upsell purchases. So let's say whatever you want to upsell after the checkout, those items can be like purchased in one single click, and the end user doesn't need to enter like the shipping details or the credit card details or something. This will be just one single click, and this is to improve the more like AOV and the sales that is there. Then we have customer access center. Again, the same thing. You can view the past orders and log in and view the current order at the same point of time. We have WooCommerce integration. This we discussed right now. Then we have delivery of digital products. You can sell digital products very differently. All of those delivery can be done via the email itself. Now you don't need to create multiple automation triggers to deliver different digital products depending on whatever the order is placed. Now all of it can be like sent via one single email. The same thing we discussed. Then we will have one single page for inventory management in the product section itself. You can update the inventory of your products from there itself. Now you don't need to go in the products page and manually update inventory of each of your variants. Rather, you can do it from one single page itself. Then the next thing is product reviews and ratings. Again, this is something which we are adding, and it's going to be more of a social proofing kind of things for your websites. So right after the purchase of your product, you can enable like the end user can put reviews and ratings, and even you can approve or remove some certain reviews or ratings from your uh, products itself. Then we will have Google Merchant Center integration. This is to improve, like expand more sales channel for your products. So let's say if someone wants to sell their product on Google Shopping and all those places and run ads on it, you can do it from there. Once your product is listed on Google Shopping from Google Merchant Center, you can run ads, and as soon as someone click on that product, they will directly land onto your e-commerce store website itself. So these are some of the things, and other than that, we have many other things like Instagram and Facebook shop integrations, then Google Merch, like then TikTok shop integrations, and all of those things are in the pipeline right now. So yeah.
This may not be for this call, but do we have the walleting gift card functionality that we talked about a while ago internally?
So we do have that, not in this quarter. So we have moved that to the next quarter for the gift cards part. But right now, not in this quarter. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
got it.
in the pipeline, but for the next quarter.
Got it.
Coming to questions, I think I had a lot of issues today. I had a lot of issue. I think Jenny has asked. I had a lot of issues with the editor yesterday and couldn't add in the links for custom fields. What is it exactly, Jenny?
So I'm still new using contracts. It was my first time, and I copied and pasted the Word document over and then was trying to insert so it would self-populate the different fields, and the editor just would not hold. It wouldn't allow me to insert those fields. So I put that in mainly as we were talking earlier about other people having issues with the editors yesterday. as another example. So I can try to recreate it and send it to you.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I think,
Sounds
yeah,
good.
sure.
Well, I mean, we'll dig into that, but then Ikshon's saying, where do coaching products fit? I mean, do you
Where does
mean in relation to like an e-com store? I mean, generally coaching products are sold like on the phone or, kind of like a one-on-one situation. What are you thinking there?
Yeah, I mean, for example, some clients might have one or two or three packages that they sell, and it's not necessarily a membership service, but it's kind of a pure executive life coaching, that type of service. So it's a one-on-one engagement. It's
Yeah, but typically wouldn't that just get done in a funnel, like with an order form?
You could probably do that. I was just asking the question, given the fact that we're making a distinction between physical product, digital products, whether we're looking at services as well now.
So is it more
Yeah, I was thinking the same, because as we sell services in an e-commerce type of store, you don't always have a physical product or a digital product, but you could put it in as a physical product. But it'd be nice to have services, because then you don't have delivery charges and shipping charges on those kinds of things.
that makes
Got it.
sense? But I think
Consulting workshops, where you're running a workshop, a facilitated workshop for a client. It's not quite a training program, So
Going back to our guiding light, who is doing this at all or well that we could see how that gets implemented? Because in my mind, I mean, I've done a fair amount of like coaching consulting, and I've never thought like, oh, I'm gonna go to Shopify or like WooCommerce or something like that to deliver that. But maybe I'm not thinking of something.
Well, I do a lot of instructor-led training and have classes that are 2 or 3 days. And currently, the way the calendar works and the appointment works, it's impossible to do that. So, you could put it out on an online store where you've got a product that is, these particular sets of dates, and then your notifications and everything aligns to that. We had to
Well,
kind of
I know the
force it
calendar team
together
is
using a calendar.
expanding a lot of that functionality. So, like pretty soon to have
Isn't there
multi-day events and that kind of a thing that could.
Oh, we don't have multi-day. Okay, I was gonna ask around it.
Yeah.
I thought we had events already, but they're not multi-day. Okay.
Nah, yeah, that's the thing. And there's a lot of different use cases it can be applied to. So I'm kind of leaning toward the calendars team is going to solve this problem, and it would probably make more sense because it's based around delivery at a certain time.
So if
But we
I'm
can still look into it.
another example would be, I'm selling as a marketing agency and an SEO package that could easily be on my e-commerce store. I don't know how else I would put it out there and have people pay for it otherwise using the system. And again, I'm very new to this system, so I'm still learning.
Yeah.
But any of my services, if I want to set up a monthly reoccurring management fee for Facebook ad management, to me, I would put that on my website as an option.
That's a very good use case, because we have exactly the same thing on our website. We
And I
actually
think
have different packages.
Most of the businesses, how they do it today is like you can create a membership offer or something like that, and then you have triggers around this as well. Like, hey, I want to grant access whenever a membership product is sold. I want to grant access and I want to send them over the credentials or anything. And since recurring products are available on online stores as well as order forms, this is how we have been seeing users use this. But I agree that probably a distinction between a service and having it as a distinct product similar to physical or digital products, that would kind of make it more clearer. But I think you can have a workaround for this as of today as well.
So just also one more question. Yeah, how do you deliver these things after, let's say, someone purchases it? Do you share some credentials to your users after checkout, or how is it exactly?
About launch
I
a
do
funnel, for
not.
example.
Go ahead.
So for me, it's once the user purchases the product, there's no community they have to log in. Basically, we just send them a form to actually complete for specific an onboarding form,
Got it.
producing the services. Yeah. But an example for me specifically, I'm about to launch a executive coaching funnel, which is a high ticket price item. So effectively, what I will be doing is, from my banking app, for example, or possibly from Stripe, and it would be nice if one can actually create a little bit of a form funnel. I can probably use a form funnel or a product form to create something along those lines. But
Yeah, I mean, I can see both angles. My inclination would be to go through the form because you're gonna need to collect information from them anyway. So it's like, hey, you have a closing call, you send them the form or a payment link, and just follow the yellow brick road to signing up because delivery of the service is going to depend on agreement to the terms and then getting them on a calendar to start discovery or, asset collection or whatever. And then you get them on a cadence for, coaching calls or access to your calendar. Um, that would just be my only thing. It's like, are we trying to fit a square peg into a round hole here when forms and calendars and a funnel, like, you can achieve it in those ways? So
Well, Ryan, came from HubSpot and
Mhm.
used products extensively in HubSpot. And again, I'm new, so I'm learning. But in theory, if I can create a product here that is a service, not just a physical product, and I could hopefully eventually link that into the opportunity so I can see my pipeline of product that's coming for a service or a physical product. Then I could link it into an e-commerce store. I could link it into a form. I could link it into a funnel. But it all starts with the product and having the product be available to be, whether that's an event, whether that's a digital product, a physical product, or a service product would be an ideal situation.
Okay, well, right now you can do that. Products can be inserted into multiple different places. So it might be like an implementation question, which I'll drop the link here, but the success team can help you get that done. But at least in my head, from what you're describing, like, that's already possible and we can do it in a lot of different ways. So let me drop this link, and that's probably the best way to move forward here. What else we got? Okay. Cool. Do we have anything else to present? Charles, do you have a question?
Yeah, so I I mentioned in the chat and it was answered, but I had another question around the Facebook Commerce Center. You said that was coming in addition to the Google Merchant Center. My other question is for other third-party platforms and looking at the bigger picture of e-commerce, what micro data set are you guys using behind there? Are you using Open Graph? Are you using Schema, JSON, or are you doing any of that for the product information?
So is it more around the kind of SEO around your product? Is it something around
Well,
that?
no, it's not. Well, it is for SEO, but it's also for, let's say there's a third party platform that comes out. They offer a track. Let's say you didn't integrate with Facebook. Okay, we'll use something that is out right now. Let's say you didn't create an integration directly with Facebook. I can use their tracking pixel to pick up inventory changes on my e-com site if the correct micro data is structured in that e-com site. If the micro data isn't there, it can't find anything. Auto dealers run into this all the time. If they get some Yahoo to build them a half-baked auto dealer website, well, the problem is it's not going to have all the correct schema and open graph to say, hey, this is the make, this is the model, this is the year, this is the body code. Are you guys doing that for the ecom? Or, and then if you are you using open graph or are you using schema? It's good for us to know because certain platforms only take certain micro data.
Got it. So, like for this Facebook Marketplace integration, what we'll be doing is we'll be just syncing all the fields for current product, that is whatever data is available for the product details, all the product details fields that are existing in the current schema. We will be directly syncing that to your Google like marketplace site. We will be creating like importing all the products there, and some of the fields might not be there, which is currently existing in the Facebook Marketplace for creating while creating an order. So those fields will be left like you have to add it manually. But right now we are just syncing it directly with the current Facebook Marketplace integration. Whatever we have thought is simply putting all the fields outside. So is this something what answers your question, or is it something else? Like we are not
No,
using
so
separately.
what you're saying is you're basically going to do the same thing WooCommerce currently does. You're going to automatically create a store in Facebook Commerce. It's going to pull in everything from the API side. What I'm talking about is the pixel tracking side. So let's say Facebook Commerce Center does not offer that direct integration via API, and you are reliant on a pixel on my e-commerce site to transfer that structured data, that micro data.
Mhm.
If you're building e-commerce, there should be some micro data behind it. It either in schema format or open graph to identify what is the item name, what is the, price name, like all the fields that we have in there, that has to be laid out in either open graph or schema. Schema is the most, universal one. Open graph is second. JSON is hit or miss, but
So we will
is that current? I'm assuming it's not currently there because
I
you're
think
not
we will
going directly to the answer. So
No.
I think it is partially over there, and I think what you're trying to say, Charles, I think we have been implementing that on the payment integration side as well. That hey, we build a particular integration with Square or PayPal, but there are a whole ton of integrations that can be built outside. So for that, we exposed a framework so that any third-party developer can build in those kind of integrations and they can launch it as a marketplace application. And I think over there, the uh, technical APIs that are available or the data structuring that is available is on the JSON format. And I think with the shipping integrations or with the Facebook Marketplace integration or Google Merchant Center integration, I think
you're going back to APIs.
Yeah.
I'm talking if there's no. So here's what I'll do. I'll share this link. It's from Facebook. Okay, maybe this will give you a better idea of what I'm talking about. Facebook offers an API, but let's imagine for a second that I want to use something besides Facebook or Google, okay, and I want to have proper SEO for an e-commerce site. Schema markup for the product on site, not in an API somewhere. That doesn't matter when it comes to SEO. SEO doesn't see your API. It sees what lives on the page. There needs to be microdata, either open graph or schema. That has to be in there for product catalogs on a website so a pixel can pick it up, track it, and assess it.
makes sense. I think
I
it is not.
usually just put a code box for that kind of thing on any site. You can add the schema.
Yeah, but if we can provide
You can
it,
add your
I
own
mean,
schema. Yeah.
it sounds like we might
Look
need to
into
go to the dev team and
schema.org.
get into the specifics of all that. But if we can provide it, I think we probably ought to.
It just
So
opens up a plethora of third-party options so that if that place I want to advertise my products offers some kind of pixel, I can just put it in my head of my website and I know it can pick up the products on my site. I don't have to worry about any crazy integrations. I just know that every 24 hours or 12 hours, however often it pulls that pixel data, it's going to automatically update my catalog on that third-party platform. It just opens up the door to both marketplace apps. It opens up the door to a plethora of things when it comes to e-commerce. It's very standardized.
Yeah.
Got it.
Makes
There's a
sense,
really
Charles.
good Chrome plugin to get all like the templates that you need. Just look up schema on the Chrome plugin or extension.
Yeah.
And it can give you
Yeah, but-
guys a head start on what all those things are. Because you can go in there and select product and then you fill out all the data, you get the code. But if you have something like that in high level already built in, that's what you need.
Yep, and I think Vatsai
Cool.
can take this up, and he can discuss it once with the team, and probably if it's easier enough to knock, we'll get it really soon. But if it requires some dev effort, which is comparatively larger, then I think he'll get it in his to-do list, and probably over the coming quarter, we'll be able to knock that off. But
All
I think
right.
that makes sense, Charles. That's good feedback.
Yep.
Awesome. I
Okay.
think we are on time, but I'll quickly share mine to go over some of the payments updates. On payment side, I think one of the major things that we have been talking about, and Amazon Pay, Revolut Pay, and other bank debits are also in progress right now, but we have been enabling multiple payment methods, which can lead to more conversions for your customers. So with Stripe, and as Charles mentioned earlier, I think we'll soon come up with a master configuration that, hey, I want to offer these payment methods or these payment methods at a global level, and then we sync it back to the channel-wise specifics as well. But we introduced Ideal Ban Contact and SEPA Direct Debit as well. Ban Contact is quite popular in Belgium. Ideal is quite popular in Netherlands, and SEPA Direct Debit all across Europe. It is the widely used bank debit payment method. So it is available on order forms. It is available on payment links, on online stores, and everywhere across these channels. As I also mentioned, the bring your own payment providers framework is already live. We have integrations that have been rolling in. There was EasyPay Direct integration as well, which rolled in a couple of days back, and there are other integrations as well. So if you are looking for bringing in a payment provider or bringing in any third-party provider for a specific geography, for a specific size of business or a specific risk of business, then you have that opportunity. You can get a third-party developer in, you can consume our framework, and you can launch a marketplace application, which can be a free or a paid marketplace application to serve to a specific niche of businesses or serve to a specific demography as well. So that has been there, and we are helping these developers build these integrations. One of the other asks that was there is, hey, BNPL payment methods should be available on order forms, it should be available on invoices, or it should be available on payment links as well. So all of these are now enabled. We have Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm, which are available on order forms, which are available on invoices and payment links as well now. And it basically allows your customers to split their payments into 4 equal installments, for example, to pay it over a period of time rather than paying it all at once. However, as a merchant, you would be able to accept that payment all at once from the third-party provider, which can be Klarna or Afterpay. But from the end customer's perspective, they are able to split that into 4 installments, for example. Automatic taxes are now live for the US. You have payment settings, you go into taxes, and then you have manual tax rates. Like you can configure tax rates. You can say that, hey, I have GST of 12%, for example, and attach it to specific products. And then we also enabled in automatic taxes as well, wherein you go down and you can say that, hey, I want to enable automatic tax calculations. This is majorly available. This is only available for the US right now, but we have been in talks internally to expand this all across the globe. So it should soon follow in, but there are some agreements and there are some things which we are still running over. But as of today, for the US, you can turn the toggle on. You can define a default tax category for your products that, hey, my products are animal or pet supplies as the default one, or my products are clothes or anything like that. And at a specific product level, if you want to override this product tax category, you can still go inside individual product and change it for the specific product. And then you can define nexus addresses as well, that, hey, these are the states in which I want to collect taxes. Once this configuration is done and you're able to save it, you are able to dynamically, automatically calculate taxes based on the zip code or the state or the country or whatever your end customers enters in. And dynamically, for one-time products or recurring products, you will be able to charge sales tax or any other applicable taxes. So quite useful for our customers in the US. And then we also released in PayPal Pay Later, which now basically embeds. And since we talked about buy now, pay later payment methods, it basically provides ease to the end customers to pay over in installments or something. So PayPal is currently available on online stores and order forms only. And at both of the places now you have a PayPal Pay Later button as well, which appears sideways or below the PayPal button. So if the customer clicks on PayPal Pay Later, they will be able to define that, hey, I want to split my payments into 4 equal installments or something like that. Or if they want to do an online payment or cash on delivery, for example, they are able to do that. Another thing that we are working on the PayPal integration is that a lot of customers come to us that, hey, PayPal is not available on invoices or on communities, for example, or on payment links, for example. So we are standardizing this and it is in works behind the scenes. So we are embedding the PayPal and PayPal Pay Later button with the card elements that we render in. So by default, within this quarter, PayPal will be available across all channels. And it basically eases the job for your customers or yourselves as well, because PayPal is quite popular all across the globe. And once you have that control over on invoices or payment links or any other channel that you involve in, I think it would just add an additional payment method for your customers to pay from. So this is what we have released in the past 1 month. And then what is in the works and client portal integration, a way for customers to log in, see their invoices, see their subscription, cancel their subscription, update their card on file, or download a receipt, download a invoice PDF or things like that. This is in testing stages right now, coming probably in the next few weeks. Square integration, we have built a native integration with Square now. It is in the final stages of testing. It might come in within this week as well or early next week. All of the dev work has been done, so it is in final testing stages right now. So Square integration is also coming in real soon. And as I talked about improving PayPal integration, there are a lot of things that don't happen in PayPal as of today. Like if you run a subscription, there are subsequent transactions on PayPal going on which are not listed on GHL side. So we are listing those. There are a couple of webhooks that we are establishing so that the transaction status between PayPal and the transaction status between high level does not at any point of time differ. We are getting the PayPal button inside the payment element as I just described in. And there are a couple of other enhancements as well that we are doing with related to recurring coupons or automatic taxes or things like that. So all of that would soon start working with the PayPal integration as well. Another thing that we have started working on and probably should roll out in the next 4 weeks or so is payments reporting and widgets. So on the dashboard side, you have a lot of widgets that, hey, I can configure already created charts or see how many contacts are created over the time period or things like that. But we don't have payments reporting or payments widgets there as of today. So we have defined a couple of widgets in terms of the sales that you're making, the paying customers that you have, the most purchased products, or the coupons redemption graphs or something like that. So they will soon be available on the dashboard reporting as well. And another item that is being worked upon is selling SaaS plans across any channel. So as of today, you have the SaaS configurator, and from there only you are able to sell SaaS plans. And then on the order forms also, you can import a Stripe plan and you can say that, hey, this is an agency plan, and you can create sub accounts while selling on order forms. But we want to standardize this, and we want to have that, hey, you can define any of your products as a SaaS product, and then whenever you sell that product on invoices or on payment links, or let's say on the online store or on order forms or anywhere, automatically a sub account can be created, the credentials can be shared or things like that. So that is in final development stages, but over the coming month or month and a half, this will also be available. So on the agency side, you will be able to define a sub account that, hey, this is my sub account which I'll use for selling SaaS or for my agency purposes, and I'll be able to uh, sell those plans across any channels. And then whenever that product is sold across any channel, I will be able to automatically create a sub account for my client. And then Another thing that is in works right now is on the contact details page. As of today, you can see the invoices for that contact or the subscriptions for that contact, and you can manually charge the customer as well that, hey, I want to charge $20 from this customer right now. But what we are now enhancing it further is that you can create subscriptions, you can add a card on file, you can directly create an invoice within the contact details page. So it eliminates the need of hey, seeing a contact like Ryan and then going to the invoices section and then selecting Ryan as a customer and then creating an invoice. This whole lot of job is becoming easier now. Within the contact details page on Ryan's contact view, I'll be able to directly select that, hey, I want to send an invoice or a recurring invoice for Ryan, or I want to create a scheduled subscription for Ryan. And within the contact details page, I'll be able to do all of this. Or I just want to add a card on file, which probably I'll charge in later or something like that. So all of that will soon become possible. So this is again in development right now, coming in over the next month or so. But yeah, these are the major updates that we are currently working on. Awesome. Any questions?
Great.
Just a question on EasyPay. Is that EasyPay South Africa or another country or region?
Sorry, question on?
The Easy Pay, is that for a region or?
Got it. I think it is prominent in the US as of today. That's what I know of. But I think if you just scroll through it on the marketplace application or on their website, I think that would give you a specific answer. I assume
we've got an EasyPay in South Africa, so I was quite excited. But I think I'll be
I would suggest
disappointed.
I would suggest to double confirm this. But as far as I remember, it is majorly for the US and Canada. Awesome. Any other questions?
Well,
Charles?
Joel was asking, what about taxes for VoIP services?
It's probably a
Do you want
completely
to
different item.
Taxes for?
But I can expand on that. And I had sent an email to what's her name, CFO, because that's who Sean turned me on to. But I had somebody raise a good question on voice over IP taxes, right? And so, like when we're reselling VoIP services, or phone service, the Twilio services, etc., the obligation we have as agencies to collect that tax. And so, I was trying to get input like from my CPAs and stuff like that too. And there's one part of it that it kind of falls into the whole service. Like we're in Nebraska, and so it falls into the whole service provider, and we're not delivering a product, so we're just kind of bundling it in, and it's part of the quote unquote services or whatever the case may be. But on when it comes to taxes, we're looking at this from the invoice standpoint and those types of things, but we also need to look at it from the agency owner standpoint to protect the agency owner about different obligations and easy ways to report that. And I've heard there's some nice companies that you could work with that could handle all of those different country or state filings.
Yeah, and I think, as I said, right, that we are soon bringing the SaaS configurator use the same payments APIs that we use at the sub account level. With that, taxes would automatically get handled for your agency rebilling or reselling or whatever you are doing in there. So towards the end of this quarter or so, the team would be rolling out a few changes, which would directly allow you to use the same tax configurations or the same automatic taxes or the same manual tax rates to be attached to your rebilling charges or to be attached to your selling SaaS plans.
Okay.
So we kind of agree, and I think we get the impact over there because agency is our first customer over here. So
right.
we'll get this sorted for you by the end of this quarter.
Right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Joel.
Cool. Can we have Bax direct debit?
Yeah, I think I saw
probably.
We are enabling that with Stripe as of today. So are you using Stripe, Gotham?
No, we are not using Stripe for Bax. We want Bax direct, from high level into the customer's account.
Got it. As of today, we are not building a direct integration with Bax. Like Stripe offers Bax, and as I said, right, the ACH direct debits or Canadian direct debits or all of these payment methods we are enabling with Stripe as of today. But another approach to this can be, because probably from our standpoint, it will take some time for us to reach to building a direct backs integration or so. But I think that's over where you can probably use the custom payment provider framework and probably get a third-party developer to build a direct integration so that it becomes useful for the community, and probably a paid marketplace application can be floated in a similar manner. But as of today, we don't have a direct plan to or an immediate plan to build a direct integration with BACS. We are relying on Stripe as of today to enable that, and it should be done within the next few weeks or so.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and just to clarify, we just got done like maybe a month or so ago building a really nice framework for any payment provider to just come in, plug in, build the integration, and it's tested. We built our own with it for Razorpay and so forth. So if you've got a payment provider that integrates with Bax, probably the fastest, most efficient way is be like, hey, there's a bunch of customers on high level that would totally use this integration. Why don't you go build it, and then it'll get done. Charles.
This kind of goes back
You're
to the
muted.
global permission.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
This kind of goes back to the global permissions, but one thing that I'm still getting a lot of questions from clients that are using the affiliate manager and other agencies that are using the affiliate manager is how the heck do we get the PayPal off the order forms if we only want to use it for the affiliate manager? Right now, it's currently custom code, or you have to go into the developer side of PayPal and turn off payments to hide it fully in high level. Is there a solution? And even in the help docs, I believe you guys, shortly after you released the PayPal integration for affiliate manager, you updated your help docs like an hour or two later with the code to hide it on order forms. But when's that solution coming for PayPal? Because it's definitely a frustration point for a lot of end users and other agencies.
Yeah, I think I get the concern, and I remember the release that we made, and after that, the script that we included in the help article. I
Yep.
think I need to talk in this regard, but as I said, right, it will be a mixed effort of the payments team and the affiliate manager team here, because as I said, right, like after enabling all of these payment methods, and it kind of goes back to where you were previously saying in that, hey, on the payment integrations page, I can define specific channels, I can define specific payment methods that, hey, these are the payment methods I want to do it at a global level. And based on that configuration, I think you would be easily able to handle that. But I think as of today, the best workaround is that script only. But I get that it is not really convenient for our customers to have that script copy pasted and then embed it inside their order forms or somewhere. But I think the immediate
Yeah,
solution.
and I mean, I don't know if the solution is, hey, let's you know, start the idea of moving this into payment settings with just a global turn off PayPal for payments, just one toggle, put it on a sprint, and just get at least that one in there, because expecting an end user to go into developer.paypal or put custom code on every single order form, every form builder, every website, every funnel, that's crazy. I think
No,
it's a higher priority than the rest of the toggles.
that makes sense. I think I agree by your point here. Let me catch up with the team and see what is the quickest solution we can get over here. But I think I get your intent, and I get the pain point that you're referring to.
Just something as a
Yeah,
temporary
makes sense.
fix through a sprint or something.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Let me discuss it with the team internally, and I think we'll get something soon.
Thank you.
Cool. Lior?
Hey, so I have a quick question about updates regarding I've brought it up before. Global inventory for products. So if a product has multiple prices, each price will have its own inventory. Now, sometimes it's a discounted price for a physical product, for example, or different things that the use cases. If someone buys the discounted price from a funnel, for example, it will only affect that specific price on the inventory level and not the other ones. So a way to have like a global inventory. I brought it up before, and I'm wondering if there's any updates or if it's on the roadmap.
Yeah, I think I remember that conversation, Liar. Um, I think we have not made any changes post that, but I think since Vatsa is here and what he was describing in terms of the updates that he has on inventory side, I think we should be able to take it along with that. But I think I remember that conversation, and post that I made a task out of it as well. But it is just that we have not been able to get that over. We are prioritizing a couple of integrations as of today, but it's on my list. I remember our conversation over there.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Sean?
Hey, just wanted to ask a non-related question, if that's okay, this group. And that is for the Facebook ads, the whole Facebook ads thing that was released in beta to certain people, to agencies. Do you know when that is ever coming to live to everyone? Because it's been a while that it's been in beta, so I was just wondering when that,
Yeah,
if anyone.
different time. Different team for sure. I don't have any specifics on it, but I've seen it. I know we've used it. It's pretty close.
Okay.
But obviously it's not something we want to rush because people are spending money. So
No worries.
it'll be there. It'll be there is again. Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool. Anything else? Hearing none, I think we can end just slightly over time. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. As a reminder, tomorrow is our marathon monthly town hall. So a bunch of cool stuff there. Come and hang out with us, and we will see you then.
Awesome.
See you, everyone.
Thanks so much to
Thank
the
you.
team for the presentation and answering all the questions. Take care, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
everyone.
Everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.